Now, I'm just about one of the biggest Rocky fans that you could find. Um, it's one of my favorite movies of all time, the first film. And I just love Rocky 1 through 4. I think those are, a lot of people put 4 down, but I thought that was an incredible movie with an incredible soundtrack with, just incredibleness. I love all the Rocky films. I think they all have something to offer, except for 5, that fucking piece of goddamn fucking shit. Fucking 5 is an abomination. I would gladly sign a petition to wipe that fucking movie off the face of the fucking earth. Fuck Rocky 5. And Balboa is an okay movie. It wasn't fantastic. It was a nostalgic trip, if anything else, but it wasn't phenomenal. Creed, to me, was phenomenal. I thought that this movie was great. Now I see a lot of mixed reactions behind this movie. And I could kind of understand why, but then again, I can't really see how people are putting this down. This is a really well made movie, and I really couldn't see them doing a better job of having somebody other than Rocky, be the main boxer in this movie. But they did it. They successfully pulled it off, and it's in large part thanks to Sylvester Stallone, a guy that gets made fun of a lot, but the guy's a fucking idol in movies. I mean, this guy, when he is involved in creative of a movie, the guy gets made fun of. He's been in some movies that haven't exactly been high quality, but the guy is a high quality actor. I don't fucking care what anybody says. Stallone has put in some top notch performances. If you need any proof of this, check out an underrated classic, Copland. If you really want to see what Stallone could do as far as drama goes. But look no further than Creed, even. This movie. So basically, you got Apollo Creed's illegitimate son, born through an affair that Creed had before he died. Um, and this kid doesn't he wants to make it through the boxing world, and he wants to use his last name Johnson. He doesn't want to use the name Creed because if he feels like, he'll be judged differently by people. He goes to Philly to make it big, and he talks to Rocky Balboa. And from that point on, just seeing Balboa in the restaurant, Balboa, just seeing him there, just this iconic fucking movie character, and he starts training Johnson, and this movie is just, I don't know what it is, but it did something to me. It really just fucking struck a chord, a very positive chord. And then we're dealing with a bunch of things. Rocky gets sick. Spoilers. Like I said, you shouldn't even be watching a fucking review on YouTube if you don't want spoilers, people. Um, but anyway, Rocky gets sick, and then they're dealing with that conflict. You got Creed's own romance, which uh, romance like nowadays in movies just feels fucking shitty. But I don't know, this romance for me, I think it was all right. It was okay. I think they handled it fairly well. But the relationship between Johnson and and and, um, and Balboa, I think it was very well done. And the way how they play off of each other was, I think, again, very well done. This movie just, I don't know. It not only feels nostalgic, but it feels new in the same sense. It didn't feel like Balboa had almost like a depressing element to it in a way where it was like, Adrian is dead. It's just Rocky and Paulie, and now Paulie is gone, and you really feel like there's nothing left for Rocky in this, and the only thing keeping him going is pretty much training Johnson. Um, and this kind of just harks back to like Mickey, how he died, and just like you just feel really bad for Balboa, but you really appreciate the entire story that they try to put forth here. that Rocky's fighting, to survive against this cancer that he's gotten. And then you've had Johnson, who's fighting really to get recognition. And then when they find out that he is the son of Apollo Creed, and he has to fight to prove himself, the last fight in this movie I think it's fucking great. It might not be as good as that Apollo Creed Rocky fight from the first movie, but this is a pretty good fucking fight. I mean, it's one of those movies where you kind of wish that real boxing was that exciting. Um, but I was a big fan of this. As a Rocky fan, even if you're not a Rocky fan, this is just a great movie. You know, it's still inspirational how they did this, the way how they showed. I guess because Johnson had money, he didn't exactly come from nothing. Um, because he gets adopted by Apollo Creed's actual wife, so who's rich. So it's not like the same thing where like Rocky, where he doesn't have that much money in the first movie. So there's a little bit of a difference there, but still, you still feel like young Creed has fought his way up through. Even though you can't really say he fought his way through the ranks because he only has one professional fight before he has the actual one due to the namesake. Um, but it's still a good movie, and still a good storyline. And I was just a really big fan of this film. It just had a certain quality about it that really stuck out to me. And the final scene, spoiler alert, Rocky climbs the same steps that he runs up in the first movie, and he could barely make it. And Johnson, young Creed, Adonis, whatever you want to call him, helps Rocky make it to the top. He motivates him to finish the steps. And I don't know. At that point, I just lost it. I just couldn't, handle this anymore. I was like, what a fucking great movie this is. That it comes all full circle in that last scene, and I really appreciated it. And I appreciate everything that they did in this film to try to recapture that previous Rocky glory. See, the thing that was missing in Balboa was that last fight in Balboa was actually kind of shitty. It was a guy that they really didn't talk too much about, and he ends up just fighting him in the end. They don't really spend that much time on the champ, but they do a little bit better of a job. And it's an enjoyable fight, and I like the way how the fight ends. It's something that kind of harkens back to the first Rocky, and there was a lot of fucking throwbacks in here, but it didn't feel like it was just worthless nostalgia. Because at the end of the day, nostalgia really doesn't do anything for movies. It doesn't move them forward. But this one did. This actually like kind of moves the series forward. If this really, if they're going to continue on with the Rocky films. I don't know how they're going to do it, how they're going to manage when Stallone, is not able to do these movies anymore or chooses not to. But yeah, this was a great movie. Definite recommendation, even if you're not a Rocky fan.